Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Hands-On channel. I'm out here for a woods walk today. I find that, at least 2 or 3 times a week, I need to come out here and just clear my mind. It helps me to process everything that I've read in the news, in the 24-hour news cycle. We all know how it goes. I mean, this stuff is so blatantly in your face, authoritarian, pushing rapidly toward complete totalitarianism here in our country. So these things, if you're paying attention, they probably have you pretty well stressed out right now, and you're trying to prep as much as you possibly can. You're doing everything you can within your power to absorb everything that's going on so you don't miss something when it comes around the corner and hits you with the next sucker punch. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the intentional collapse of the United States of America. It's been going on for decades and decades, but now they're going pedal to the metal, balls to the wall to destroy everything you and I hold dear. And I'm going to start off with the most obvious example. I mean, you're feeling it right now when you go to fill up your car. Even if you've got a fuel efficient car, it's costing you 3 or 4 times more than it was a couple of years ago. Unbelievable. And not just are we feeling it at the pump, we're feeling it if you work in the oil industry at all. You're feeling it there as well. So many of my customers are directly in the oil industry, and they're all telling me it doesn't make any sense. We should be booming right now with oil prices the way they are. But what it is there's all these new things called ESGs in the background, and they're being sponsored by groups like BlackRock and Vanguard and other, high rollers that own like up to 40% of the economy. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, we're in a bad shape right now. I'm hearing stories all around the country of China buying up portions of farmland and other things. BlackRock is buying up the housing and stuff like that because, you'll own nothing and you will like it. I said something recently about the similarities between now and what the Jewish people must have been going through and feeling before Hitler came in and rounded them up and put them on the rail cars and sent them out to concentration camps for, the rest. The rest is history. All the horrible things they did to them. I think that's what we're feeling right now is the build up to that. And no one is doing anything. No one is doing anything or saying anything to stop it or slow it down or anything. And I get it. It's a dangerous game. You don't want to, remove Joe Biden under the 25th Amendment and then have Kamala come in there and make even bigger clowns of the United States of America. I get it. But then you have to remove her as well. And then I get it also. Nancy Pelosi would come in. Then you have to remove her as well. You just have to keep throwing them out because the act of actually coming in and taking power and getting your hand on all the levers that these people have going in itself takes quite a bit of time during the transitional phase of things. So if nothing else, that would slow them down. Of course, if we had proper investigations on the last election, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now, and the United States of America wouldn't be in the shape that it's in. But today I saw something earlier, and it just blew my mind. For one thing, Joe Biden was trying to go out, and it's kind of the precursor to his, what are they calling it? Like environmental, what do they call it? Executive environmental action, an environmental emergency that Biden's fixing to declare here in the next few days or whatever. Well, he's kind of going out and, preparing people for that, preparing the press. So he went out today and he was talking somewhere and he was, there was like 20 people out there. And I'm like, this is the guy that supposedly got the most votes in modern American elections. And they can only get 20 people to show up for one of their most near and dear objectives, climate control. People control is what it really is. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, Biden came out today and said that, back when he was a kid, probably in Scranton or something, because that's what he's always talking about, when his mom would take him someplace, the oil was so thick in the atmosphere that when the first frost came, there was oil on the wiper blades. So, that means that's the reason that he has cancer. And I'm not sure if he was actually supposed to say that or not, but he said, I have cancer. And immediately, as soon as I heard that, first I thought, is this a gaffe? Is this another one of Biden's gaffes? But I don't think so. I think they're laying little seeds. I think they're getting ready to say that Biden's going to have to retire because he has cancer. And they're going to try to blame it on climate things that were happening back when he was growing up, and that's why he has cancer today. I mean, unfreaking believable. You can't make this stuff up, guys. I mean, I'm speculating here. I don't know if that's actually what's going to happen or not, but that's what it feels like to me. I've seen enough of their dog and pony false flags and BS like that to make me very skeptical of everything when I see something like that. I don't always think it's an accident. I think Biden may have let it slip intentionally so that people would be like, oh, he has cancer. Oh my gosh, what is this? And then they're going to use that as an excuse for the reason he's been stumbling, bumbling, ass clown of the entire world and making the American presidency look like an office, that's just another tinfoil dictator. So anyways, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. That's just my prediction. Keep your eyes out for that. I haven't heard anyone else come to that conclusion, but that's what I felt. As soon as I heard him say that, I thought, yep, look out, Jack, here in a couple of months or whatever, they're going to be saying, oh, we just found out Biden has cancer. That explains it. That's why his performance has been so terrible and why he's been canceling all these press conferences and other things and these other meetings that have been scheduled months out. He goes days and days without even leaving his residency, the Oval Office currently. So anyway, something really bizarre is going on, and that's enough speculation on that point. We've got a wide open border. There's no one that lives in a border state anywhere in the United States of America or the rest of the country that doesn't feel that right now, because I mean, it's just unbelievable. Open freaking border. They've opened it up. They're not paying attention to the laws that the Congress has made regarding, immigration and how that process is supposed to work, right? So what that does is that takes away and discourages good-hearted, good-minded people that would want to come to the United States, that would want to immigrate to the United States using the legal process. It discourages them, dissuades them from doing that, because why would they do that when they could just come up through the southern border? Unfreaking believable. I mean, you can't make this crap up. Bring it over. Afghanistan people, right after, unvetted Afghanis, right after the whole collapse and the terrible debacle that Biden created by withdrawing the troops before they were ready. I mean, we all saw it. We gave these Taliban people just billions of dollars worth of high-tech U.S. equipment. You telling me that's not intentionally to create some new Saddam Hussein or not Saddam Hussein? What was the guy's name? Osama bin Laden. I almost said Barack Obama, but I think I was almost getting those guys confused because they both have Hussein as their middle names. But anyways, again, I digress. Things are going to hell in a handbasket. I hope you all are aware of that and you're preparing accordingly, because that's basically all we can do right now. And I do believe that this is a battle between good and evil, right versus wrong. So it is a spiritual battle as well. So be sure to have your mind, body, and spirit in the right place, and also stack those cans up to the ceiling, because I'm worried that this new supply chain issue is a permanent state of affair from now on. I mean, unless something drastic changes in November, or again, maybe Biden gets removed under the 25th Amendment and we remove the next one and the next one and the next one until we get somebody in there that's halfway decent, I mean, not 100% of the Democrats are bad. I mean, Manchin has been putting up a hell of a fight from the Democrat side. So, kudos to him, respect to him. But anyways, our problems are deep and wide, and constantly they're adding newer and more convoluted problems to that stew every single day. And it's hard to even pick out and single out one thing to focus on, because of just everything is in chaos. Let's go on to the potential for World War III. I think that potential has been heightened, and it continually is heightened every time Biden or any of his supposed diplomats communicates, or anyone from NATO communicates with Russia. They're going about it and talking to them all the wrong way. They started this thing from the beginning back in 2014, when Victoria Nuland and others were sent over there by Biden and Barack Obama to start a color revolution in Ukraine so that the West would have control. This is not the first time. I mean, it's just unbelievable that our government continually gets away with this stuff by using these shadow alphabet agencies all around the world, and we expect nothing to happen. I mean, it's like Ron Paul said back in 2012. If we do this kind of stuff, he was specifically talking about the Middle East, but it's the same no matter where it is. If we go around and we do this kind of stuff, inevitably, somebody's little kid is going to, see their father or their mother die and be killed by the efforts of the United States trying to overthrow and install their own puppet dictator, right? I mean, they're going to see that, and that's going to create a person that's going to grow up with just the most vicious hatred you could imagine in their hearts, and they're going to internalize that hatred, and they're going to use it one day against your children, your grandchildren. it creates blowback, long story short. Every time we do something like this, it creates blowback. Not only around the world, but back here in the United States too. And that's what we're seeing, is just decades and decades of blowback coming back to get us right now. You know, I was just talking to my wife a couple of days ago. I can't believe we're actually in a time when we're back in the Cold War like nothing ever happened. I mean, we're like essentially at a nuclear standoff. And you know, I heard something last week, I guess, about 6-7 days ago. New York City put out a PSA talking to their people about, oh, watch out and prepare, and this is what you should do if a nuke goes off. So that got me thinking. I thought, oh my God, what if? Again, this is wild speculation. You take with it, you run with it if you want, or you ignore it if you want. But immediately my mind started thinking, what if? I mean, we've got a history of this, Gulf of Tonkin, where we started our involvement in Vietnam. We didn't have to, but the Gulf of Tonkin happened, and it was created by our government so that we would get pulled into Vietnam. What if our government now is so far gone and so sinister that they would actually plan a false flag, you know, maybe a small, you know, suitcase type nuke set off in some place like New York City or Chicago or some, you know, some other big metropolitan area where the casualties were massive. And then the media, their buddies, run with the story that, oh, it was the evil Russians, it was Putin, he's so evil, obviously this was him, he's been threatening us with nukes, right? I mean, is that unfathomable? It's hard to say. Unfathomable? I mean, is it really? Is it hard to imagine that our government, with everything we've got, the history of just everything we've got with MK Ultra and Operation Naomi and all MK Naomi, all these other things that have gone on, you know, Operation Northwoods, all these other things that lead me to believe that this is a grand conspiracy. It's a conspiracy of, you know, maybe not our entire government, but certain factions of people inside of the government that are hell-bent on destroying everything you and I hold dear. The foundation of this country that has given us liberty. They don't want us to have liberty. That's suddenly out of fashion now. And they're selling it through their culture rot that they're pushing out there. And of course, you can go back and do all kinds of research about how the CIA has been involved in, like, giving people lyrics to songs, and the whole deal about, what's it called? I can't remember the name of that place. There's a mountain out in California where they had all these, you know, rock and roll people like the Doors and, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Bob Dylan. All these people spent time out there, and the CIA had an office there. And allegedly, they were giving these people song lyrics and things to talk about and directives to push the culture rot back in the 60s. That was the initial attack on the American family. So, guys, I mean, all hell's breaking loose. It could be any number of things. And of course, if it goes full-scale nuclear, because, you know, if the American media is able to convince the United States people that whatever the attack was legitimate and it came from Russia, then there is no doubt we're going to respond with the full force of the United States military, which includes nukes. So, of course, Russia has those Satan II nukes. Those ain't nothing to sneeze about. They're the largest nuke ever created, and it's like a series of like 16 warheads. So if they spit this thing out up in space and it spits down 16 warheads that are all massive freaking warheads, they could amputate the United States in a matter of minutes. So I don't know. I don't know how to tell you to prepare for that. You know, bend over and kiss your ass goodbye. I don't know. Spend time with your family right now, because time and stuff like that is super precious. None of us knows what's going to be coming, you know, around the bend tomorrow or next week. But I'm telling you, things don't feel right. They're feeling like the buildup to Vietnam and things like that. They're trying to get us into World War III, which could very easily go nuclear. And again, would you just answer the question down in the comments? Would you put it past your own government to initiate and do a false flag in New York City or someplace else where, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions of people are killed by a dirty bomb or a suitcase bomb or something like that, right? Or maybe even some sort of nuke from the air, remote controlled or something, you know, with Russian flag on the side of it, whatever they would do to pin it on the Russians. Do you put it past them to have that in their wheelhouse right now, in their ideas and their thoughts? Do you put it past them to make up the fact that Biden suddenly has cancer and now they're going to have to bring someone else in? Is that why Gavin Newsom is suddenly sniffing around the Oval Office and talking smack about Ron DeSantis and stuff like that? I don't know. But when I see the writing on the wall. It's telling me, hang on tight, guys. Things are going to get way, way worse before they get better. Keep on prepping, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I always love reading your comments, so let me know what you're thinking about all this stuff down in the comments. Hang in there. I stand for liberty. I hope you do too. We'll see you next time.